Shalom everyone, this is Rabbi Max Edwards from Temple B'nai Abraham in Livingston, here with Metro West's Bit of Torah this week on Parshat Vayikra, the first parshah of the Book of Leviticus. And I'd like to take a moment to dedicate this video to all of the people within Ukraine who are fighting against tyranny, fighting to live as a free people, fighting for peace. And may it be that our learning together brings us even an ounce closer to actualizing that sense of shalom, that sense of peace and wholeness that the world seems to be searching for right now. So we are in Parshat Vayikra, the first parsha in the Book of Leviticus. And there's a tradition that when we introduce kids to Torah study, we begin with Parshat Vayikra. Now, why would we start children in the Book of Leviticus before anything else? There's a few traditional answers given to this. One is that because Leviticus is so involved in the laws of purity, and we know children amongst humanity are the most pure of all of us, that just as the children are pure, so too they embark on their Torah learning journeys in Leviticus, which is all about maintaining a sense of purity. Very nice. There's another teaching that says, well, Leviticus, especially this first parsha, is all about sacrifices. And we know that life is full of sacrifices. So it's a lesson we want to impart to our children early on, that they will come to understand what one of the essences of life is, what it means to sacrifice something. There's a third teaching that, quite frankly, Leviticus is some of the most challenging material in Tanakh. So if you start them with Leviticus, it only gets easier from there. Then you get Breshit, you get the stories of the patriarchs and the matriarchs, you get to Exodus, the story of Moshe and the Israelites wandering in the desert. So you start with Leviticus, you get the more difficult things out of the way, and then you move to the narrative portions. Now, there's certainly an ounce of truth to each of those approaches, but it speaks to something bigger. There's nikar, there's a central point that's being expressed in starting with Leviticus, and we see it expressed across a wide stretch of our Jewish lives. If we think about the different Jewish holidays, many of which start right in the middle of something. We have Sukkot in the middle of Tishrei. We have Purim coming up here in the middle of the month of Adar. We have Pesach, which starts in the middle of Nisan, and we have Vayikra, starting kids in right smack dab in the middle of the 5 books of Moses. And the undergirding lesson here, or a undergirding lesson here, is that there is always an opportunity for beginning anew, always a chance for renewal. When we're in the middle of something, even when we're in the midst of our Jewish story, there's always a chance to start fresh, to bring us into a new state of being. And when we're stuck in a moment of paralysis, when it's unclear what we need to do in the world, how we can help the world, Parshat Vayikra, the first parsha in the book of Leviticus, is really a model of reset. And it is about sacrifices. It's about very specific details having to do with sacrifices. But more than that, it's about serving God. It's about modeling community and service and acts of chesed, acts of loving kindness, mitzvot, all toward building a better world. So as we begin Parshat Vayikra this week, may we go into the week with that sense that our mitzvot, our deeds, may they have an impact on building this more complete world, this world of shleimut, this world of completeness, and God willing, a world of shalom, a world of peace for all in it. Shabbat shalom.